What's up, everyone? I'm here with one of my best homies, Michael, childhood friends. Um, we're gonna be talking about combat sports today and some other stuff that I've seen. Michael got a bubbly drink. I got some hazy IPA, man. This shit will put you in the matrix, man. But yeah, me and Michael are just gonna talk about combat sports, man. And so there's no coincidence that me and Michael were born around the same time. We're both interested in MMA because we're both Scorpios. So shout out to the Scorpio family, man. We're all the fighting and masculinity of the astrology stuff, man. But Michael not into that. But I'm just bringing this up for the audience, man. So that's me and Michael, man. If you guys want some unfiltered content about fighting and things of that nature, we're here for you. And so I had the schedule aligned, but I really didn't. But me and Michael have enough to talk about that. We could probably go on for hours, but we're going to save you guys. So we're just going to talk for a bit about stuff that happened this weekend, stuff we've been noticing. And we'll kick it off with this. This is not random, but we'll just start with anything because it is what it is. Ilia Topuria, right?
Yeah.
Um, there are so many things I can get in with this dude, but he won the fight against Volk. So he was victorious. He said he was going to beat him. He beat him. I think in the MMA community, I haven't really sensed if they like him or they don't like him. Maybe all the people from Volksland don't like him because Topuria, they will say, oh, he's cocky and arrogant, but I'm not intimidated by that. He's just a confident man. And so I think people are insecure about Topuria. Ladies love him, no homo. They like him. So, oh, he's handsome, blah, blah, blah. But that's none of my business. My point being this, that he can fight, though. And so he's a Spaniard. I don't know the last time I heard of a huge Spaniard winning like a prominent UFC belt, dude. Like, we know Brazilians could do it, Mexicans, Black Americans in there, everybody else, but we haven't heard of a Spaniard. And so Ilia Topuria has kind of taken that mantle. For soccer fans, I'm a huge soccer fan, so they were playing Real Madrid versus, I think it was either Valencia or some other team today. And so Ilia Topuria got introduced to like the whole stadium. And I was happy for the dude, man, because he got the hero's welcome. He got the championship, and now he's being celebrated. And I'm just happy for the guy because, yeah, I'm just happy for him. We want more stars in MMA. But, Michael, what are your thoughts on Ilia beating Volk and then sort of leapfrogging into superstardom? Because he's literally – he doesn't have the same mouth as McGregor, but he's following the same trajectory, dude. He's on the same trajectory.
I think those stars only happen when they're supposed to happen. So we'll see. I want to compare him to McGregor because before McGregor there was Anderson Silva. Before Anderson Silva there was a GSP. Before a GSP there was, you know what I mean, a Gracie or whatever. So if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. What I would like to see as far as if you're talking about exciting fights is if O'Malley gets through Chito Vera. O'Malley has one more fight after that. In the perfect world, O'Malley beats Merab. After Merab's last fight, I think O'Malley could probably drop him. But I feel like it has to happen in those first two rounds because Merab's pressure and his grappling, I feel like he'll beat O'Malley. But in the perfect world, whether you like it or not, the fight to Lion is going to be O'Malley and Topuria. That's it. He handles business at 135. He handles business at 145, and they align. But if he's meant to be a star, he's going to be a star. I think now that because even I didn't expect Ortega to win against Yair Rodriguez. So even that fight itself, like stylistically, rise. It's going to be an interesting fight against Topuria. Smoke both of them, right?
You kind of faded out for a sec.
I said we pretty much seen Volk beat Ortega and Yair Rodriguez, right?
Yep.
So now Topuria took his belt. Stylistically wise, those fights might be a little different if it's versus Volk. So I think he has a challenge at 145. I think O'Malley has a challenge at 135. But I think they both can be stars. But like I said in the beginning, it just happens if it happens.
I I agree with you from the sense that it happens when it happens.
Because you have to go in there and win, no matter what. So
I
that's
think
what made McGregor special.
I think fighters understand that if you jump up in a division, you don't really lose points for losing. When Izzy jumped up and fought Blachowicz, no one really like pooped on him for losing. And so I think that's the way Sean O'Malley looks at it. But we could talk about this. Sean O'Malley's not getting through Oliveira.
You want to bet on it?
Yeah. I rewatched the GOAT.
You want to bet on it?
Yeah, we might have to, dog. Maybe a small
Okay.
bet. But we could put it in stone, man. But I was rewatching O'Malley versus Vera 1 maybe yesterday or the other day ago.
He got whooped.
Who?
O'Malley.
He got whooped. The only thing he got out were some solid leg kicks. And I'm like, those kicks were solid, but Volk, I think Sahito brought up this point, and I'll ask your opinion. They don't think Sean O'Malley has like that masculinity to like stay like fighting. Like essentially they're saying he's going to fold at the first sense of controversy, which he kind of did against Mara, but at the same time, I think his leg gave out. So,
right.
So I really can't entirely blame that on his mentality. Like, but at the same time,
I think when he says mentality, I think that's why Merab is an interesting fight, because I think he can have that mentality if the fight's standing. But how does he react when he has a dominant grappler that's thrown on him and his head's hitting the canvas over and over again for 3 rounds straight?
Talking about Rob?
No. I'm talking about O'Malley taking damage.
Yeah.
So I think he has mentality if he's doing nothing but striking. But when it gets to the deep part where like Chito Vera had him in the first fight in top position, throwing him elbows, where he's experiencing a lot of pain and his head hitting that canvas, which is a whole different type of tolerance for pain. So when you have someone like a Merab fighting him who's going to bring that to him, like you said, it makes you question, is he going to be able to pull through that? Because some could, like a Tony Ferguson. He's going to accept to get his ass whooped or get knocked out. But does O'Malley have that same energy as a Tony Ferguson? That's the thing, though.
And that's the thing about Tony. He quit in the Gaethje fight.
You can't say that.
I can.
You can, but you can't blame him for that, because
no, that's right.
I'm
gonna say. Wait, bear with me. I'm gonna say he quit, but I ain't gonna say I blame him, because Tony Ferguson has shown so much heart in previous fights that the damage that Gaethje was putting on him, I don't blame him, dude. Because here's my point. Even though he quit, that doesn't make Tony a bitch, dude. He's not. He's older.
But you gotta agree, 5 or 8 years down the line, he probably would have pushed through that somehow. But you can't blame him.
Earlier.
Yeah, like when because I mean, people get older, their mentality sometimes, depending on the fight.
Michael, that's my point. I don't judge Tony Ferguson because I know Tony's a dog. I've seen it already. So you're a 36-year-old man, probably 40 now, and Gaethje's giving you some crazy hell, dude. I ain't gonna judge you, man. I'm just not going to, because I know you're washed, but at the same time, you're not. I won't think of you as a bitch. I just
let me. Okay, I agree with what you're saying, but let me say something real quick. Someone who has a chin like Tony, let's say someone goes in there and goes out on their shield, but their tolerance to take a head punch is a lot less, so they get knocked out by Dustin Gaethje. Imagine you're Tony Ferguson, who can take his punch. It's going to hurt you like hell, but for some reason, it's still not shutting your lights off. So then for some reason, now you got to decide, do I want to go through this for another 5 minutes straight when we got one more round going? So you really can't blame them until you are in those positions and you understand, because it's not fun.
No, and here's my point. I think he quit.
He did.
At the same time, there's quitting when you're an older age, and I've seen you fight your heart out. And then there's quitting like, what's the most recent example of the dude quitting when he didn't have to? Ryan Garcia. Dude.
You think he quit, or you think that liver shot was?
No, he quit, dude. Because as soon as the 10 count came up, he stood up. Now, here's the thing, though. I'm not a professional fighter. So if Tank hits me with that and I say, hey, Tank, I'm just going to go to Chick-fil-A and enjoy myself.
So what you're saying, realistically, even if it hurt him, what he should have done is stand back up if he gets caught with either a headshot or a body shot next, then that's the end of it. But
Yeah,
you're
because
saying he gave up on the first moment of
initially.
controversy. Yeah.
Because there's a Tank fought a guy named Mario Barrios, right? Another
Yes.
Latino fighter. But there are interviews where Mario Barrios states his pride and his I'm not gonna get too deep into it, but his heritage.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's like, it means something to me. And so when he fought Tank, he got hit with a hard body shot. He fell to the ground. You can watch the fight. And you know what he did? That dude stood back up and he got knocked out on his feet. And he really didn't get knocked out, but he got finished on his feet, right?
Right.
But I was like, you know what, Mario? I can't judge you, dude. Tank's a hard hitter, and you still you went up there. Now, Ryan, I'm not even judging somebody for quitting, but I just want to say what I saw. Ryan, as soon as that 10 count hit, he said, I'm up and ready to get some tacos. That's what that dude did, man. And so I'm like, dude, what are your thoughts on that? You're a real fighter. You know what it feels like to quit in training or whatever. I can't actually, like, to your point, I can't speak on it because I don't know. Because if I get punched in the nose, my eyes gonna start watering, and I'm gonna say I'm good. So, but you know,
it's a mentality thing because it's gonna be a different mentality compared to MMA. Because at least with MMA, if you're getting beat up enough, the ref's just gonna stop the fight. In boxing, you can get straight up dropped like Tyson Fury. He's going to count to 10. And if you get up, that means you get to keep going. And then you probably get one more try after that, maybe. So really, it's a question, you just got rocked by a punch that sat you on your ass. Do you want to get back up and continue? Yes or no? You decide to do it, and you know it's going to be nothing but
here's what I want to ask you. What's your mentality? Because it's either when you
get on your shield or do you...
it's like, my question to you is, it like, we're a unique show, so we're just going to get into spiritual stuff just because. And Michael, I want to ask him this question because it's like a spiritually related fighting question, right? So you get rocked in a fight, right? In your mind, are you saying, I can cover up myself and just kind of stay conscious, the ref's going to stop it? Or I can say, I'm going to beat this dude, not necessarily right now, but eventually. And my mind saying, I'm not gonna go down there. You can't beat me. What's your mind like? And when you're rocked,
it doesn't affect me. I acknowledge I get hit, but it's not enough to. If as soon as I get hit, I react to it. You said what?
Sway your mind.
No, but as soon as you get hit by it, you accept that you got caught, and then it's back onto the next thing. So I've never been hit that hard to even. At least standing up to even have that type. That's why boxing is interesting. But to even have that type of mentality, the only time I would somewhat say that it swayed that way is when I was on the fight I lost. When I was on the ground and you're getting hit in the head and your head's hit, at the same time you're getting hit in the head, the back of your head's hitting the canvas. It's a new type of pain. So that would be like the only time that I would say something like that. But
listen, I don't want to judge fighters who say no mas because
it's a tolerance thing.
It's just a tolerance thing, and I'm not even sure that's up to the person.
It's like you want to be a vegetable, or you want to find a way out.
And that's up to someone's mentality. But even then, when you're first born on planet Earth, there are things you can't control. So I try to be forgiving. But there are dudes who are so blatant with their scariness, like Ryan Garcia, like other fighters, Anthony Joshua.
I get it too, but the reason I think it's valid with Ryan Garcia because if you're gonna talk the talk, then you got to be about it. So
yeah, he's got to be about it, and he's kind of trying to get out of this Haney fight. And I guess they're 3-3 in amateur, right? But like, if anyone's watched their professional career, Haney is so much further that he might finish Ryan. Like he's just a better fighter now. And so you have someone like Ryan Garcia, who's like an IG model. Or not even an IG model. He wants to be a Christian IG model.
I didn't know God respect Instagram.
Hey man, I ain't gonna judge, and that's why I brought it up because I'm laughing at it. But at the same time, I'm no better, man. I ain't no better, man. But it is funny though because he brings it up, and I'm just like, because there was a video that he dropped, and he was like giving shoes back to people. I was like, man, that's a good gesture, dude. And I said, you know what?
About it.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the point. He said. He said.
Kendrick never posts about anything he does.
Who said who?
Kendrick.
Well, there you go.
So
And
why post about it other than
here's the
they
thing,
can,
though. Here's the thing.
Feed your ego.
Well, there you go. And so Haney, he does a lot of stuff. He's posted about it, but I think he does more than people let on. But my point being that he let the people know, but it was just like it just didn't come from the place of a fighter, dude. It's like he's here for the payday. Hey, do your thing, Ryan. I ain't gonna judge you, man, but
he called out O'Malley, right?
He said Rainbow Head. That was a funny diss.
Not really. It's just a Skittles.
Yes.
Anyway. Like to your point though, is he's just trying to get a paycheck. No different than why he's mentioned O'Malley when you got to fight with Devin Haney. So supposedly,
right? He's been complaining about it, saying I need to be in a different location. Blah 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 blah. What's interesting though is that Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia had previously tried to sign a fight, and they had it booked in, but Floyd Mayweather came in. And Ryan Garcia said, Floyd kind of convinced me not to take the fight. And so now we're back again. Ryan and Devin have signed a contract. They've already signed it. But Ryan keeps tweeting stuff, acting like something's wrong. Is Floyd up to his shenanigans? And the thing, here's what I want to get your opinion on, because I think Floyd is jealous of Devin Haney. And we're not even saying Devin can reach your heights skill-wise, Floyd. But
you think he comes back and fights Devin Haney?
He ain't doing that, dude. That would be funny, but he ain't doing that.
That'd be the money right there.
He could fight in Japan for $5-10 million, man. And those dudes just, yeah, man. It is what it is, but Devin Haney, I think you're going to whoop on Ryan. Ryan, don't jump out the fight. Tank Davis, you need to stop running around like a cat and being scared. And so we kind of talked about Volk versus Ilya. Oh, we didn't really talk about Ilya's superstardom, though. Because I was saying that I'm a soccer fan, and one of the soccer teams I follow, they're like the biggest team in soccer. And then Ilya did like a, what do you call it? He did like a coming out party on that soccer team stadium. Like he had his belt with him and stuff like that. And people were taking pictures with him. I was like, dude, you're really about to blow up into superstardom. What do you think it is about Ilya that's helping him? Is it his nationality? Because we really don't have that many Spaniard champions. What is it?
I mean, that can be part of it, but I think just because there's a belief in this last fight, really, because he was so confident it was going to happen. He said that first round, or
first or second,
yeah, and then he does it. So I think that's why. Because if he were to lose, he would have been a laughing stock, a meme on Twitter.
I would have been putting memes up.
Everybody would have been going crazy, but he won, so he freaking finished him. So you can't say much after that. So I think he's in a great position to be a superstar. But at the end of the day, you still have to win, your next fights. That's what made the McGregors different, the Silvas, the GSP. Is they took that torch. They took that torch, the John Jones. They took that torch, and they're able to keep winning. They didn't lose the belt. Not saying Volk's not great. Volk is great, but did Volk hold his belt as long as a GSP or Anderson Silva, John Jones, and I know McGregor didn't hold the belt that long, but he has such a presence that he was able to hit that superstardom, a lot quicker and a lot bigger than a lot of those other stars. But it's really up to what he does in these next fights. It's just like O'Malley. It's all cool, but you still have to win. So
I think you're right.
In 2 fights, he can possibly fight the champion at 35 or 45.
Topuria or O'Malley?
Topuria.
Topuria, he's at 145, right? So if I were him, I would take on that O'Malley fight. I think they asked him about fighting Islam. He said, I'll take out Islam too, but I think he was kind of joking. Like, I ain't trying to fight no Islam. And he shouldn't. He shouldn't, dog. Islam will swallow you up. As good as you are, Topuria, he'll swallow you up, man, with his grappling.
What if he knocks that pull out, though?
You said what?
What if he just catches that fool? He just catches him. He should have lost, but he caught him when he was taking him down. Like,
If he
imagine.
catches him, man, it's gonna blow up the MMA world and all fighting. He
That'll
not
be the
catching.
biggest rematch ever. It's gonna be in Saudi Arabia or freaking Dubai.
Oh yeah,
try to get that belt back.
oh yeah. They don't get that belt back, man. But Topuria, stay in your division, man. Defend the belt. Yair Rodriguez and Brian Ortega last night. I fell asleep, but I heard about it. I saw the end, and this dude Yair was getting choked out. But there was an interview earlier this week where he was talking trash about Topuria. He's like, he's a bitch. I'm gonna fuck him up. He's a bitch, nigga. He's a bitch, nigga. He didn't say that, but he's a bitch, nigga.
Yeah, I was about to say.
He didn't say all that. I just put some extras on, but he's a bitch, nigga. And then I saw you get choked out by Brian Ortega, who hasn't been in the ring in 5 years, dude. So what happened, Michael? What's your thoughts?
I don't think you could. I mean, Yair's been active, so he's still good as he was.
He's been active. Why are you losing?
But he's still been good as he was. I think sometimes fighters can just bounce back. So obviously, Brian Ortega, since his last fight, has been at least training. So he hasn't been fighting, but he's been training. So
He's been doing something with Tracy Cortez, man.
He's just been sharpening the blade.
Wait. Before we're gonna get into that, like the actual technical details, but
He went to the fights.
yeah, but I saw a clip and it was Brian Ortega because he's been like bringing his family to like the interviews and like the post fight. And then
you think it's her kids? Nah.
Well, here we're gonna get to because it was the lady, right? And he was about to hug her, but then she was like, "Nah, not really." But at the same time, you want to bring your ass in the ring to show yourself. So I ain't gonna go too deep into it, but I was like, "Is this?" So people on the Twitter were like, "That's his baby mama," but Tracy's in the crowd. And so, what does Brian Ortega got going on, dog? We don't want to get to your business. It's your business, but it's kind of funny because I'm like, dude, you invited your baby mama. She don't want to hug you after you win. You got Tracy Cortez, who might be finer. And then you got 6 kids in the octagon with you and your trainer. Dude, do you need count? What do you think, Michael? I'm saying this jokingly, but what's going on with Brian Ortega, dude? And then he wins the fight. And then he wins the fight.
I think all that doesn't matter because he won.
And then he won. So
if he lost, then yeah, it would probably be like, all right, maybe he's dealing with too much, maybe too much going on outside the octagon, but he won. So that ain't nobody's business until it pops up. Probably will, but
it probably is, but it's not our business. We're not gonna touch on it. But shout out to you, Brian Ortega.
Yeah, because I thought Yair was gonna beat him. To be honest,
I did too. I think Yair is a good fighter. So it's strange to me, and yeah, I think that's why MMA betting and stuff like that.
Did you see he hurt himself at the beginning of the round?
The dude was doing
He's jumping up and down.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2 step, and then he hurt himself. I said, "What is wrong with this dude, man?" I saw that, man. That was hilarious, and he still won.
Yeah, I ain't never betting again, man. Well, I say that this time, but
yeah.
So
I'm going to talk about what happened this weekend with DraftKings and stuff. You share your story, dog.
Because Rojas pulled out,
dude.
Right
you
before,
told me it was because he
right before he's supposed to fight. They say we have a special announcement to make. Rojas Jr. an hour ago wasn't feeling well, so he pulled out his event right now. Like just on the spot. That means I didn't win that draft. $15 to win $150. If this fool didn't pull out, like, come on. He didn't even have to win. I just had to get I think less than 12 minutes.
Dude, or he probably, man.
I think he would have submitted him.
I was gonna say the same thing. My mind was saying he was gonna submit the dude regardless. But he dropped out, man. And then Dana said that he said, "Oh, the fight's official." We got to get into this UFC stuff because Dana said after that happened, he said, "Oh, the fight's official for next week." And then the dude Rojas was fighting came out on IG and said, "I have not signed a contract saying the fight's next week," which says Dana's capping. What's really going on behind the scenes, man? Dana, what are you really doing?
Okay, so I was listening to Francis on the podcast. Basically, what I think, because Francis says he would have these conversations, so What probably happened was they probably offered Rojas, all right, you're not fighting right now. That's okay. How about we get you on next week card? Rojas Jr. is like, I'm gonna think about it, and then leave it at that. The way Francis explains it is, it's either you do what I say or oh well.
And then even then,
If he refuses, how they gonna treat him?
Francis don't need UFC money now.
He don't.
He really doesn't, and he's living his life. He's
Chilling with Tyson, who's Dana White's friend.
Yeah, he's chilling with Tyson. Francis is already up there now. And then when John Jones and Francis, because they're in the same building for PFL, right? And I think John Jones said what he said, and then Francis said, "You're effing fat," more or less, like you're not in shape, dude. And there have been people have been like on Twitter saying John Jones like aged like 10 years. And I've been seeing like the Photoshops, not even Photoshops, real pictures, and he looks older, but it's like
he just has a belly. That's it.
It's funny though, because as we're both I think we're pretty relatively young, but we've been able to watch MMA and see guys primes come here and go. We've seen Usman come and go. We've seen Volk come and go. We've seen GSP come and go. We've seen Silva come and go. And like we're both able, we're not like babies. Like when we came into like watching MMA, we're like, we've been seeing this. And now we're seeing John Jones, and he's still here though. Because I saw him beat Shogun's ass in person.
Yeah.
Me and my dad watched that fight. I think it was I forgot where it was, but we watched him fight. That may have been Anaheim, but me and my dad watched John Jones fight. The dude, he tapped out with the Kimura, I think. Whatever his name is. I forget his name. I just have to look up his record. But my point being that John Jones still here. So even if he lost, he's still my GOAT. What are your thoughts on that? Stuff like that.
I want to see him fight Francis. I think he beats Francis.
I'm not sure about that.
I think he beats Francis because he's not going to strike with Francis. I think he's going to turn it into a college wrestling match and beat
Francis is strong though. You can't. Stipe tried to grapple. It's not easy as we thought it was. He's strong and he's learning.
Yeah, but Stipe doesn't have the caliber of weapons as a John Jones. So in those grappling positions where he's fighting out of it, Jones is going to be throwing elbows and different stuff that Stipe, wasn't as comfortable throwing.
Interesting point.
But I think power is in favor of Francis's, of his part. But I think as far as fight IQ and what it takes to win a 5-minute, 25-minute bout, 5 rounds each, he knows the IQ of a fight to decide how can he win not just each round, but a majority of a round. And the same thing you can say maybe with Dominic Reyes. Because everybody likes to say Dominic Reyes won that fight. I think he looked dominant in that fight. But in those later rounds, Jones figured out, how can I break these rounds down? So 1 round, I'm going to break it into 2. How can I win about 3 minutes of this fight in this round to make sure that, I pull off the victory? So when you fight Francis, it's going to be the same thing.
So I just looked up John Jones' record. The fight me and my dad went to was him versus Vera, Brandon Vera. So this was before he started his reign. But to your point, John Jones has that fighter IQ. How can I win these rounds in the judge's eyes? Knowing that I'm John Jones. Optics. And Cejudo's mentioned the importance of that. Didn't really work out in the Merab fight. And that's why we're jumping around in topics, everyone, because there's so much stuff to talk about because me and Michael haven't been on a couple weeks because I just been out my damn mind. But we're here tonight. But the point is, John Jones is smart and cerebral, but I think Francis is too. He saw himself get robbed against Tyson Fury. He saw, Francis ain't – man, this is unfiltered, man. I think people think Francis is some, like, big black brute. Like, he just is stupid or something. Like, and then
that's how I think the UFC viewed him a little bit when they tried
they did
punk him in his contract and stuff. And he actually brought that up in an interview where he says, I think they think that I'm stupid, but I'm very smart.
Exactly, right. And Francis is not. It really is racism, but like people think like Francis is like, oh, you just give me anything, I sign contract. No,
Like Michael Blackson type comedy or something. Like,
yeah, like it's not like that. Like, well, you people can have your stereotypes about people, but shit, it's not gonna help you in life. That's all I'm gonna say. This ain't a life spiritual show, but people who you perceive, I'll even say Michael. You guys will look at, because I'm just saying it's jokes, right, Michael? But me and Michael have been out together. And I see dudes trying to get over on Michael, and it's not going to end well for you because what you guys perceive. And then I see you guys retract your statements and stuff like that when we're at the club or the bar, when me and Michael have been out together. And it's like, dude, you guys know the real, but you guys put on this facade. Like, you guys, it's nasty, man. What are your thoughts on that, man? It's nasty.
thoughts on what? Going out in public?
That and Francis' situation, because I know how you are in public, dude. You be ready to squabble, and then these dudes realize they don't really want to squabble, but they think they can when they first see you. That's my point. I'm like, oh, you guys don't really know Michael like that. I said, okay, well, here we go. I'll be here, but here we go. What are your thoughts?
Okay, so what was the point on Jones?
Jones looks like an old man, but he can still fight.
Okay, and then Francis was taking him for being stupid. So,
people were taking Francis for being stupid, and then I said that contributes to this mentality that people who they think perceive as like weak or stupid don't really buy into those stereotypes. That was my main point.
Yeah, and I think now that everything's working into his favor, that people are going to start to realize, at least the casuals are going to start to realize, because people that are into the sport or into him are going to put two and two together. But like the mass media and the casuals and stuff will, I think, start to see, because if he didn't beat Tyson Fury, I don't think he would have been getting the respect he's getting right now. It would have been like, oh, Dana White was right, you know what I mean? But Dana White was wrong, so.
And even then, though, they said I guess the records say he didn't, but we watched the fight. Francis won, dude. So.
Hey, you know what I heard about when he was talking about, he was on a podcast, he was talking about his contract, and they would hit Francis up, because Francis would be like, okay, I'm going to be ready to fight in June. And they'll hit Francis up and say, hey, Francis, you want to fight in May? We got this event on this time with this guy. And Francis is like, no, I want to keep to July. And they're like, oh, yeah, okay, no problem, man. I was just asking, no problem. Hey, we'll get back to you. And the next thing you know, he gets a letter in the mail saying, your contract's been extended for 6 months. So basically, anytime he denies a fight, so they can call you up. Hey, you want to fight in 3 weeks? Okay, no problem, dude. I get it. It's late notice. Then send you a letter in the mail saying you've been extended for 3 months.
This is going to be one of our longer MMA shows, everybody. I'm just telling you now, as long as I can be in my right mind, because these fighters are in what I call draconian contracts. This show is called Draconian Complex. What I mean by draconian is like
black.
Yeah. Yeah, man. We're turned up. But like when you think of Francis's contract situation, it's like they think he's a slave.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get it twisted, everyone. We're not getting it twisted because you guys hate Negroes. So you guys are still doing that. But you guys are also doing the UFC. You're doing your own people like that. The Michael Chandlers, the Connors, you guys are screwing over your own fighters, and then in the antitrust lawsuit, and that's why I said it's going to be a longer episode, because I'm going to bring up the article, but you got fighters having Stockholm syndrome, which is like black people like being overly forgiving of their masters. You got people like Michael Chandler who ain't got to fight McGregor saying, Massa, I'm going to step for you in the court case. What? Dude, what? You get... And so...
And he has a black baby.
And I try to stay off this topic because it's going to send me for another 30 minutes, man, with Michael Chandler and his black children, man. Because, dude,
I know he gets that McGregor money. You know, if he fights McGregor, he's gonna have about 12 more black kids.
He's gonna have about 12 more black kids, and then I already know what's going on in Michael Chandler's mind, though. That's the thing. I already know what you're doing, dude. You're sinister, and if you know, you know. I'm gonna just put it like that, dude. But you're a weird dude, man. You're a weird dude, man.
That's so rude.
Dude, Michael Chandler, you're a real weird dude, man. Trying to adopt her. Count your days, Michael Chandler. Count your days. I gotta count my days too, because I can get taken off this earth whenever. But count your days, Michael Chandler. Count your days too. Your days are numbered, man.
Well, now he's talking to the WWE, so
I made a reaction video to that. And I said this was the worst call out I've seen in the history of combat sports.
Bro, he's gotta get his money though. They've been promising him that McGregor fight forever.
Dude, he was doing the call out. He was losing his voice. Come on, let's fight. We're the biggest. I said, dude, get the freak out my octagon. And you know what's really messed up about Michael Chandler? He puts on good fights.
Yeah.
He's entertaining. I don't know the last time I saw an unentertaining Michael Chandler fight. But you have these weird fetishes going on. Dude, what's really going on, Michael Chandler? And I'm going to put this on my YouTube short. What's really going on, Michael Chandler?
Hey, just so Harrison don't look too crazy, they have Black History Month for UFC and they put Michael Chandler on there because he had a black baby that he adopted.
Dude.
Harrison doesn't sound too crazy.
I'm not crazy, man. Michael being funny, but that's real talk.
They really did that on Black
History. They really
History.
did it, man. And they're trying to be funny. And I'm just like, you guys are not funny, man. I peep it, man. And Michael peeps it. We peep it, man. Man, this show's gonna be a great show, everybody. So stay tuned because we still got it's only 35 minutes, man. We could probably talk for hours, but we're gonna limit our content. But Michael Chandler, I just wanted to say, I don't like you. And Red Pain United is not coming, man. So just as well take another fight. That's all I'm gonna say, man. Do you have any closing thoughts on Michael Chandler and the weirdo? Yeah, the weirdo Michael Chandler.
Nah, I think we got three solid things we got to go on to.
You probably know the
versus on my elite card because we got a Michael Venom Page versus Holland on that fight. UFC 300 because they just announced that.
Dude, we got like 8 topics, man. Let's just because
those
are main. We're gonna work towards it. We're gonna work towards those.
Man.
Okay, we'll work towards it because I'm thinking about what you said. I'm like, dude, we could talk so much, but we're gonna work towards the main topic so we don't leave you guys here forever. But I wanted to talk about what did I want to talk about? Let's talk about Khamzat, dude.
He's not fighting during Ramadan. Hey, that's what you got to give Leon Edwards his respect because I heard that they offered him Islam, Hamza, and Shavkat.
That's what they said. He said he's gonna take on anybody. I don't think Dana would lie about that.
I don't think so neither, and he said it publicly. So
I think Leon was ready, and it's a shame because Leon's still going to get dissed.
He deserves it too. UFC 300, he's the top person that would deserve it.
He deserves it, and he doesn't. And he deserves an easier fight.
That's why DDP's a punk because he should have took Izzy.
Yeah, that's another.
Izzy would have took him on 300 even if he wasn't 100% ready. Because it's the importance of the 300. You know what I mean? 100, 200, 300.
Shoot, that's another topic. Jamal Hill and Pereira.
Yeah.
But Khamzat, I still have you really highly ranked as a prospect. I'm curious about Michael's opinions. I'm gonna ask him his because me and Michael probably not like the biggest NFL fans or basketball fans. We might watch it from time to time, but we know fighting, and so we can kind of rank who's like a really good prospect. The same way in the NBA, they look at college players and say this is a really good prospect. Me and Michael can do that for you guys for MMA and boxing. And so we look at Khamzat, who has all the grappling ability. He can get you to the ground quick. His takedown entries are really good. But his cardio, it's like, dude, if you can just fix your cardio, you can be a Khabib. What are your thoughts on Khamzat as far as being a top prospect? Because the MMA prospect's not like 23. It's more like 28, 29 where you really get to that level. Unless you're John Jones, but that's a whole nother.
I gotta pee.
All right, I'm still here. I'll carry it.
You take like a 3-minute intermission or something.
3-minute intermission, man. Michael got pissed, man.
Harrison got to make a playlist.
Playlist, y'all. I'll be humming on this thing, man.
Play that new Uzi Vert that you were talking about.
You know what? That's what I'm actually about to play. Hey, this is a new little Uzi Vert song I heard earlier today. I'm gonna bump this thing, man, because it's hard. If you don't like it, you don't like it. But you gotta appreciate rap music at some point, right? Oh yeah, that's hard. Let me put myself back on camera. Hold on. We back, man. This song is hard as heck, man. I'm gonna play this song for you guys. Lil Uzi Vert, man. He was just going in. Oh, what's my battery looking like? Okay, here we go. Lil Uzi Vert. We're doing an intermission. Michael had to take a piss during our MMA show. Michael doing Michael things, man. But Lil Uzi just dropped a song, or somebody did, but it's hard. Before I continue this song, I want to let people know that Shavkat Rakhmonov is the future of UFC. Shavkat Rakhmonov, future of the division. Corey Sandhagen, future of 135. Jamal Hill, future of 205. Alex Pereira going to get knocked out by Jamal Hill. Corey Sandhagen, 135-pound champion. Then Umar Nurmagomedov.
My bad. I can't hear anything.
Yeah, I've been turned up, man. I've been turned up, dog. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been turned up. I was just dancing, so people gonna think it's real goofy when they see the full stream, but it is what it is.
And we was talking about Jamal Hill and who?
Yeah, I was saying Jamal Hill, right? And so
Yeah.
He's been confident in himself. He said Pereira's not on his level. He said he's like I don't think Pereira's the boogeyman like you guys think he's the boogeyman, pretty much. Then he had like an interview, and he was saying because he had that injury. That's my concern. The injury hooping on the basketball court, and I'm like, are you rushing yourself back into this fight, or are you really healthy? That's my concern. What do you think?
That's what sucks about it, because he could have possibly got this fight at 301 or 302. But it seems like he was the first person to say yes to be the main event for UFC 300. So he took advantage of the situation. So he accepted it. So now he has to make sure he performs, even if he had a Achilles heel injury prior, which is the reason he relinquished his belt. So now he has to show up now. But I get your point, because is he taking it too soon? But you know how the UFC works. If they offer you something, or how much, if he were to decline the fight for UFC 300, even if he didn't feel comfortable going into it, let's say he declines it, then how do they treat Jamal Hill after that?
Like
they have favorites. So he said yes. Now, if he wins, it's in his favor, like a John Jones. So they try to do the same thing, John Jones, but John Jones just kept winning. Or he just is another fighter.
That's a good point. I don't think they should treat Jamal Hill as another fighter. I'm not saying he's on John Jones level, not at all, but Jamal's pretty. I think he's a stand-up dude, man. He's funny. I like Jamal Hill, man,
I like him too.
and I like Pereira too. Pereira he's been able to become a UFC star without speaking English.
Without saying anything.
What are your thoughts on that? Pereira his stardom as far as just being funny enough though to understand like English with his skits and stuff like that, because he understands, but he still can't speak it. But what are your thoughts on that? That's my point.
Bro, he can. I think he has a potential to be a good star if he does beat
He signed
Jamal
an 8-fight
Hill.
contract, by the way.
You said what?
He signed an 8-fight contract with the UFC.
Yeah, so like if he beats Jamal Hill, he has the option to move down in weight. What?
Yeah, he's not beating Jamal Hill, but keep going.
If he does, he has the option to move down the weight or fight somebody at heavyweight. Which I think that would be towards the end of his fight contract, because he's just doing so damn good. And then he would have kind of like Islam there. Okay, you're doing so good. You're at the end of your contract. How about Leon Edwards? Same thing, just different weight class. But I forgot what my point was.
We're talking about Jamal Hill as far as what were we talking about? Jamal Hill, Alex Pereira. What are your thoughts on the fight, and then who do you think wins? We'll put it like that.
I don't know, because I know they both got hands. Like Jamal Hill is not going to be like anybody else. Alex Pereira. Jamal Hill is like Alex Pereira fighting. I don't know, man. Okay, let's compare it to Izzy fighting Izzy. Imagine if Izzy had hands like
Pereira.
It's a weird comparison because he doesn't have movement like Izzy. But imagine if Izzy had hands like Jamal Hill. It makes for a different fight now because now Pereira is probably not coming forward as much.
Wait, Michael, I want to emphasize your point though, because that's why I like talking to you, because you understand the nuance. Izzy was a multiple defending champion, right? But both of us can understand his hands weren't there.
Yeah, he had the top.
When
Like
we
almost
both
point
watch
fighting.
Jamal Hill, it's not his kicks, it's his hands.
Yeah.
Go ahead, though. I'll let you cook. Go ahead.
No, yeah, I'm just agreeing with what you're saying.
No. I want you to cook on the point that Jamal Hill has hands, and so.
Okay. So then going back to Izzy. The reason I brought up Izzy because Izzy was still able to knock him out, but it was very strategic. He kind of rope and doped.
Yeah.
And then came off with a hook and caught him because Alex Pereira wasn't expecting it. But a majority of the fight was Alex Pereira applying the pressure, coming forward, keeping his distance, but still coming forward, baiting him into whatever side of the cage he wants to go to. I don't think he's going to be able to do that with Jamal Hill because Jamal Hill is going to have more pop in his punch. It's going to cause maybe Alex Pereira, instead of coming forward, if he's not backing up, then at least standing in the middle of the cage. And then maybe cutting his corners, circling more, opposed to coming straight on like he would at Izzy, because the power of Jamal Hill is going to be there where he might get knocked out. But I think Alex Pereira's style is more in tune, more disciplined to win a fight against against Jamal Hill, because his technique's a little bit better. But where I feel like with Jamal Hill's technique may lack a little bit, he's a little bit more athletic and power. He has more power. So sometimes we just exit out. What you do?
I'm back.
Here's some messing up. Still ain't got no logo. Got no damn playlist.
No logo, no damn playlist, dude, man. No, because I wanted to. I was gonna bring up some videos for our show. Because we're gonna keep talking about MMA, by the way. So we're gonna repost.
Oh, we gotta bring up Strickland real quick. Did you see? Hey, bro, he's like I'm starting to like him more. Like he got into it with Machine Gun Kelly.
I heard about that. Yeah, I saw the video.
Machine Gun Kelly got mad that he didn't know who he was, and then Sean Strickland is like, "I'm supposed to know who this man child is." He's just like a vampire, and his nails are painted and got makeup on.
The funniest part is Strickland's being dead serious.
Yeah,
He don't know who that is.
and he was ready to fight him.
Machine Gun Kelly, you don't want any problems with Strickland, man. Strickland's a real man, dude. Yeah, he lost to DDP, but he's gonna fight you, dude. Yeah, he got so much trauma in his life that he has to fight you. I'm not gonna bring up his person. He got so much trauma in his life, he has to fight you. So, shout out to Sean Strickland, though, man. I like Sean Strickland. We need more fighters who are just unfiltered. And I think the funny part is, I think Dana wants that, but fighters are like scared to jump over that barrier. Colby jumped over the barrier. He said, "I'm gonna just be unfiltered." He became a superstar. What other stars in your mind became that dude who's just like, let me just jump over it, man? I was jumping to superstardom.
The pioneer of it?
Huh?
I think the pioneer of doing something like that and doing it successfully. There were certain fighters, but okay, so like if you go past, let's say the Ultimate Fighter days, I can't think of many fighters. Maybe a Vanderlei Silva, maybe a Michael Bisping. But I think, and maybe some more before that, but I think the first one to do it successfully it would be Chael Sonnen. And Chael Sonnen was like the blueprint of if you're going to turn heel, here's the way you should probably do it.
And I'm thinking about our MMA history because as far as we can remember, I'm trying to think who turned heel except Chael Sonnen. It didn't work out for him. It kind of did, but it didn't.
It did for the Anderson Silva era.
Yeah.
Until the second fight, because he damn near won that first fight.
And I think here's the funny part. I think me and Michael were together when we watched Anderson Silva versus Sonnen 1 or 2.
Bro, do you know that was the first pay-per-view I never paid for?
Go ahead.
Like, we never ordered that fight because we just figured, I think you said something at school about it. I was like, man, that's fight beating Silva. So we didn't order the first Chael Sonnen versus Anderson Silva fight. Just to find out he got his butt whooped for 5 rounds straight and submitted him in the last 30 seconds.
Dude, I know we watched I think we watched the Anderson Silva versus Chael Sonnen 1 or 2 together. I know for a fact, and I brought this up before, I was sitting on your couch at your crib watching Anderson Silva whoop the brakes off Forrest Griffin with you and your pops.
Yeah.
We watched that together. I said, dude, I thought it was fixed that night. I thought this is a fake fight. It was so bad. I said, dude, this has to be fake. Yeah, me and Michael get on to these memories, man. Between us doing boxing on my front porch and our friend Ian and Ben fighting with boxing gloves, man, we're not gonna get into all that on the show, man. But we can really go there as far as our childhood memories, you guys. So, yeah. People telling on the principal. I'm not gonna bring up names. Michael knows.
Rhymes with Mozzie.
Mozzie, yeah, Rhymes with Mozzie, man. That's how we're gonna
say Mozzie. Mozzie's cool.
Yeah, Mozzie's cool, man. But I want to get your opinion on this Ryan Garcia. Let's go back to boxing. Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, right? And so Ryan fought Tank. Tank knocked him out with a liver shot. He wins. Devin's about to fight Ryan, but Floyd's telling him, hey, maybe you shouldn't fight Devin. But at the same time, Ryan wants to fight him low key. I don't know, for real. Do you think Floyd is like cock blocking? Based off,
I don't think it matters because Ryan's not showing any loyalty to anybody. I mean, you have the opportunity to be pretty much brothers as far as coming up in the game and learning from a Canelo Alvarez, but even Canelo was like, "Nah, you're good, bro." Like,
no, that's the thing. Canelo was like, Ryan doesn't train like he's a. Yeah, go ahead though.
So I don't blame Floyd because Floyd's gonna do whatever he wants to do. He's already proved his point as far as competing, and he's probably looking to try to promote fighters now because he can't fight forever, which he kind of is already doing, promoting certain fighters. So I mean, whatever happens between them two is what happens between them two. Ryan Garcia should know better by now, and since he shows no loyalty to anybody, I mean, maybe it works out with Floyd.
Maybe it works out. I think the fight was signed under De La Hoya Promotions. And for anyone wondering about De La Hoya, this dude has pictures of him in fishnets ironing clothes, man. So
As Dana White would say, that's a weird dude.
it's a weird dude, man. De La Hoya is a weird dude, man. But I want to let him be, man. God willing, we pray everybody get to heaven. So De La Hoya, I hope you turn your life around. That's all I'm gonna say. But weird dude. And we're gonna jump into another topic. Did you ever hear about that wrestling scandal with Vince McMahon?
You told me the last podcast, I think.
We're gonna bring it up again.
Episode 33 people. We're on 34 right now. I think.
On what?
As far as podcasts.
Oh,
it
yeah.
should be 34, right?
I thought you were talking about live streaming, like 34 people were watching us.
I can't see all that.
No, dude, I'm looking at the thing, we got 0 people.
That's why you got connected to Facebook.
I got you, man. I'm gonna lock that in, man. But I forgot what we were talking about.
That's why we need one random person that sits in the background.
Dude, we need a random
pulls up all our videos and everything, and then keeps track of the conversation.
Dude, I forgot what we were talking about, man. But that's what makes this show what it is, because we're just really going off the top of our heads. Like we have our topic structured, but tonight we're just doing whatever we want to.
I think this is how it should be for every episode. We
Why
have
not?
maybe a few topics in our head and just freestyle the whole thing.
We just freestyle because it's more natural.
Because it really can. Like,
You've been having these damn dogs.
we talked about like 30 minutes before the podcast. So.
You said what?
I said we talked about 30 minutes before the podcast. So.
Right. And then, yeah, man. So it's just going to be freestyle, but we're going to have our base topics. But me and Michael can keep going on. But let's jump to another topic.
We need to talk about.
Go ahead.
My bad. Go ahead. I was going to bring up PFL versus Bellator.
Let's talk about it. So
they went 5-1.
I watched the only fight I think I watched were 2 of them. Well, the main fight I watched was AJ McKee because he was the debut for the main card.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wanted to make sure I watched him, and like my favorite soccer team was playing at the same time. But I was like, I want to see how AJ McKee performs. So I had both of them on at the same time. Now just looking at AJ McKee, knowing who I think he is, he showed some solid striking and then just choked him out. I said, that's the AJ McKee I know. He's not a slouch, people. Like, I'm not saying like if he went to the UFC, he's going to be champion, but he's going to offer a lot of problems.
Let's talk about how beautiful that submission was, though.
It was beautiful.
I want to say he was doing good striking, but then I don't know.
Real quick exchange.
I can't remember exactly how they got to the ground, but all I know is
he took him down with a double leg or single leg.
So then when he took him down, somehow it got reversed where AJ was on the bottom.
Yeah,
so, where you have to put praise on the submission is originally when he gets reversed in that position, he gets the guillotine. He's not able to get the guillotine, so then he goes for the triangle. He's not able to get the triangle, so then he switches from a triangle to an armbar transition from the triangle. So 3 different submissions, he hit the 3rd one. So it tells you how good he is striking and on the ground too.
And the striking, there was like maybe 3 exchanges, but I think AJ got the sense he could outstrike him. And then he's like, let me just take him down. I think he mentioned that in the post fight. But I'm just watching AJ McKee and I'm like, all right. Was the fight at 145 or 155?
155.
Okay, so when I compare him to the top lightweights of the UFC, we can do this together. Islam could probably out-wrestle him. I ain't gonna lie. Gaethje. And AJ McKee can out-grapple you, dude. Oliveira. I don't know if AJ McKee can out-grapple you.
That would be an interesting fight.
That would be an interesting fight. Because AJ McKee, yeah, that's an interesting fight. I don't really have AJ over Oliveira, but it will be an interesting fight, man. It will be extremely interesting. And so my point is that AJ, out of all the Bellator prospects, he's the one who has the highest ability in UFC. These other dudes, one of these dudes is dating a porn star. His name is like Elbian or something. He won like one of the fights last night. He's dating a porn star. I seen her videos. I'm sorry. I'm just saying. I'm like, dude, I have nothing else to say, Michael. Go ahead, man.
Well, I can agree with as far as about AJ, which I think it's cool. I'm wondering what they're gonna do because they have to do another event just like this. I think AJ has to be on the card.
Yeah.
But they didn't have what's his name, Pitbull.
Nope.
The one that had a close fight with AJ.
Quote unquote, right? AJ won, but yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. So he still has to. That's why I think there's going to be another one. Same thing, Bellator versus
PFL.
PFL. I think Pitbull has to be on that fight card.
They're brothers, but I know what you're talking about. The one who
Who's
we
brothers?
fought. Pitbull has like a twin brother.
Oh, he does.
You didn't know that? Yeah, they're both fighting in Bellator.
Oh, he's at 145.
He's I think it's like 155 or he's like literally they look the same though. But the younger one's better. The one who fought AJ is better. But
The
AJ,
younger one is the one that fought AJ.
yeah. There's two of them.
Oh, excuse me. I'm shit. I thought the older one was the one that fought AJ.
Actually, you know what? Don't even take my word with a grain of salt. I don't know the older one, but he has a twin brother, solid. But I think people need to stop disrespecting AJ because I think he's still undefeated. I don't care what Scott Coker rated that fight and gave it to the other people. I don't care. That's not you were. There are other agendas going because AJ said he wants to leave.
22-1. How is that not signed to the UFC yet?
And they just signed the guy who's 4-0 for heavyweight.
It's almost like they don't like the boy from Long Beach.
They don't.
He's not the face that they want.
They could use him though. They could use him.
They can. All he needs is opportunity.
All he needs is an opportunity, and he needs
right,
Michaels to be like the face of promotion because
the right money too.
Yep. Yeah, give us that paper. But if UFC, if you guys want to take your promotion to the next level, let Michael and I do the shows, the one-on-ones, because you have like the people in MMA like Nina. Have you heard that Nina, the Latina woman?
Yeah.
She's cute, by the way. If you throw it at me, Nina, hey, it's going down. But my point being that, Nina, you have a good MMA mind, but that's who they propel. And then if you like, who are the other good-looking women in MMA? Nina, Laura Senko, the blondie, the Ring Girls. Who else? Carolyn Bryant. She's like an older lady, but she look good. Who else?
I don't know.
This is a sidetrack, man, but maybe I'm just going to my own fantasies. You know what? Never mind.
Making me forget what we were talking about.
We forgot what we were talking about, dude. Hey, this is Draconian.
Go
ahead.
You're talking about different announcers and interviewers for the UFC, basically.
Yeah, Megan O'Leary. Megan, if you have a crush on me, we're getting married. That's just me. Go ahead, Michael. Megan O'Leary is a cute woman, man. Lord have mercy, man. I need to pray, man. I'm closing this live.
Better watch out. Her man's like Anthony.
Dude, how long? It's an hour, 3 minutes. We still got much more to talk about. Michael, do you have any energy left?
I do. I got about probably 23 more minutes.
Yeah, I got that. Okay, so what were we really originally talking about?
I think we're talking about having the UFC do like interviews or something. You're talking about you and me and
one-on-ones and like doing more promotion,
face-off stuff.
Yeah.
Because they don't do that a lot, and it's what makes pay-per-views. Imagine if we had a face-off with O'Malley and Cheeto Vera.
Dude, everybody's tuning in.
Bro, everybody was already going to tune in, which means now your mama's grandma saw this on freaking Facebook, and now she's going to tune in because it's the biggest fight of the century.
I hear what you're saying, though. I know you're being sarcastic, but like, dude, face-offs are so important because the press conferences normally deliver, actually.
Mm-hmm.
The press conferences are pretty good for the main, like, and so why don't you guys just do one-on-ones? Like,
because it's more personal.
Francis and AJ did a one-on-one, and I made a video about
Yeah.
it. And I was just watching, just entertaining, just to see like their body language, because I don't really consider Anthony like a real fighter. I know women like him and stuff like that, but dude, that's not a real fighter, dude. If you're like me and Michael who understand fighters, that's not a real fighter. Francis, that's a real fighter, dude. Hey, but only me and Michael can give you guys this information. We're just telling you, there are real fighters and fake fighters. Francis is a real one. But regardless, we weren't getting into that. But as far as like the MMA commentary, there's Nina, there's the Laura Senko, there's us. We got time. What other MMA channels have you been following? We had this conversation like 5 weeks ago, and then we brought up our names. But lately, I've been with Sandhagen a lot because he has a lot of good content. What are your favorite channels?
I don't know. I've been kind of straying away from. I just been hopping to random stuff now.
Yeah.
But usually, like if I have to hop to something random, I'm looking up a fighter that they're interviewing.
Mm-hmm.
But one I'm interested in is because before it was DC and Ariel Helwani, and then DC and
RC.
Ryan Clark, yeah, and then now he's leaving, so now it's gonna be DC and Chael Sonnen. Which
what are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on that?
I think that's a perfect combo. And you know, Chael Sonnen, based off his own podcast, if he's smart, he'll still keep doing his. But based off his podcast, he's a little bit more honest with his opinions. But I think he can be honest with his opinions compared to DC, where DC might because DC's honest sometimes, but he's a little too nice about it. So I think it'll be interesting seeing them both together. This man keeps disappearing. I ain't improvising either. You're just gonna be standing here and be awkward. I don't care. Okay. Left the damn video.
It's funny, dog.